Okay, Dada is here. Nobel. Nobel not here. Coffee.
Here.
Okay, coffee is here. Popiang.
Teacher.
Okay, Popiang is here. Baitong.
Here.
Okay, Baitong is here. Poi.
Here, teacher.
Okay, Poi. Jom.
Here.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so some of you went out to have their vaccine, so that's okay. All right, so let's start. Let's have a quick review. Yesterday we talked about has and have, correct? Can you still remember? PC?
Yes.
Okay. So I hope that you understood everything because today we will continue, but this time we will talk about the present perfect tense. How are we going to use present perfect tense in a sentence? Okay, so it's just the same. We use has and have, but this time we follow the grammar rules. Okay, so I can you see my presentation? Is it working in your end? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, wait for a while. Someone is joining. Uh, okay. Number 9 is at T. Okay. Okay. Let's go back. Okay. So our topic for this afternoon is perfect simple tense. I want everyone to please listen carefully so that you will understand and you will know how to use this one. Because after this, I will give you a quiz. Okay? Okay, P6? Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So, how are we going to use the present perfect tense? So, there are many forms of present perfect tense. So we learned this one yesterday that for affirmative, okay, again, for affirmative, we use I subject, you subject, we subject, they. So again, we have learned this yesterday that if these are your subject, your, okay, your perfect tense should be have, okay? Okay, so in plural form, have. But if your subject is singular, he, she, and it, your perfect tense should be in singular form. That's why this one is has. Do you understand? Do you understand? Can you remember from yesterday? Yes or no? Please let me
Yes.
know.
Yes.
So as you can see here, there are verbs, okay? So the word is worked, written, okay? So work with ed. The base form of written is right, but here it becomes written. Why? Because in present perfect tense, okay? Remember, in present perfect tense, have is followed with past participle of the word. We know already what is past participle, right? Like written, work, these are past participle. So I subject plus have plus past participle of your verb. He as your subject plus has plus past participle of your verb. Okay? So this one is affirmative. Now we also have another form of present perfect tense, and that is interrogative. So what is interrogative? So this is how you use or how you can make a sentence using an interrogative form of a present perfect tense. Instead of the subject I, at the beginning, you start it with has or have, depending on your subject. So, for example, here the sentence is I have work. for us to change that into interrogative, we put have at the beginning, as you can see here, followed by the subject I, or you, or we, or they, and then your past participle. Do you understand? So have plus
Yes.
I plus your work or past participle. Again, here in written, I have written. So if we will change I have written into interrogative, it becomes have I written? So at the end, it will become a question. Do you understand now?
Yes.
Okay. Next, as you can see here, our subject he and she. So he has worked. For us to change he has worked into interrogative, it will become has he worked? So question mark. Next, she has written. If we will change she has written into interrogative, it will become has she written? John. Okay, let me, sorry. Excuse me for a while. Okay, John is here. All right. So we will proceed. Sorry about that. Okay. So again, let's go back to, okay, so affirmative, it means your like sentences. Interrogative, these are like changing your sentence into a question form, okay? All right, so another form of a present perfect tense is negative. So we have affirmative, we have interrogative, and we have negative. So how are we going to use negative? These are the example. It's the same with affirmative. You start with your subject, I, or you, or we, or they. But your has or have will become haven't, or it will, you add not to have. So in short, it will become have not, has not. Do you understand how to use negative
Yes.
now? Okay, so I, your subject, haven't worked. So it's still the same. Your past participle is still the same, location or position in the sentence. It's still after have or has or haven't or hasn't, okay? So in negative form, your sentence here, for example, I have written. So in negative form, it will become I haven't written. Do you understand? P6, so quiet. I need
Teacher.
to answer. Yes?
Teacher.
Yes?
Um, um, I don't understand.
You don't understand. Okay, which part? Which part? The negative, interrogative, or the affirmative?
Negative, teacher.
The negative. Okay. So for the negative, what is changed is the have and has. Instead of using have or has, we add not, but shortened it into haven't, hasn't. Do you understand? Haven't is
Yes.
is a short form of have and not. N-O-T. Have not. But we shortened it, it becomes haven't. Do you understand now?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. Okay. So in negative, have will be added with the word not, but shortened, so it becomes haven't, hasn't. Okay? Do you understand? Physics, I want you to tell me if you don't understand so I can explain it again. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, I think they understood because nobody said they don't understand except one. So okay. So can I proceed? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So there are many uses of a present perfect tense. So first is, as you can see here, number one, if an action happened in the past, but the result is obvious in the present. Example, look at the picture here. Look at the arrow as well. So if we will try to put a sentence on the three pictures, the first picture is John's car is dirty, as you can see here. And then the second picture, he washes the car. The third picture here, the sentence would be, he has washed the car. So this is now the third sentence is your present perfect tense. Can you see the difference? So the use
Yes.
of present perfect tense here in the third sentence is that the action happened here in the past has an obvious result in the present. Of course, his car was dirty, so when he washed it, it became what? So his car was dirty, so he washed the car. So it's an obvious result. How do you say obvious um, in Thai, teacher Jam? Obvious, it means like you know the result already. Like you you are sure of the result for obvious, the word obvious. So it means, okay, thank you, Kak. Okay, so this is the first use of a present perfect tense. The second use of a present perfect tense is if an action just finished. Look at this picture and look at the next picture. Okay, so Mark is having lunch. So this is your first action. But then he just finished his lunch. So the sentence now using the perfect tense is he has just had lunch. So you add the time expression just. So he has just had lunch. It means he just finished eating his lunch. So if you will use perfect tense, your perfect tense sentence would be he has just had lunch. Do you understand? P6.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go now to the next four uses. Number three, for an action that started in the past and hasn't finished, meaning you did an action in the past before but did not finish. Okay, now let's have an example. So here you can see in this picture a house that is for sale and it was sold. Okay, now look at the picture here. So the sentence would be like this one. We bought the house in 2000. We still live in the neighborhood. We have. So this is now your present perfect tense. We have lived here for 15 years. We have lived here since 2000. It means in the past they bought the house and still living in the same house until now. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Teacher,
Yes?
can
What
you
is it?
try again? I don't understand.
Okay. So, in this use, Okay, the third use of a present perfect tense is if the action started in the past but hasn't finished yet, meaning it continues. So in the past, they bought the house in 2000, year 2000. And then until now, after 15 years, we have lived, the sentence, we have lived here for 15 years, meaning they still are living in the same house for 15 years. So the action started before and then still continue up to now, not yet finished. They are still in the same house. So we use we plus have plus past participle live for 15 years or here for 15 years. That's why it becomes present perfect tense. The time expression that is used here is for and since. So you can use we lived here for 15 years or we have lived here since 2000. So these are the time expressions wherein it signals that you are using a present perfect tense. Okay? But don't be confused. I'm just telling you about these uses. But when you see the sentences, you can identify it. I just want you to know on this one with example. So don't worry about it. Don't get confused. Okay, next is number 4. For experiences we have or haven't lived. Example, so he has flown, as you can see, has, he plus your past participle. He has flown a plane, but he has never tried bungee jumping. So meaning this experience he tried it, but this experience he haven't tried it yet. Another example, have you ever traveled by plane? So this one is your interrogative, right? Started with have you ever traveled by plane? So this is another use of a present perfect tense. Experiences that you have tried and you haven't tried yet. Next number, okay, time expression is ever and never. So just remember the time expressions just, for, since, ever, and never in the sentences. Okay, so next time expression, no, not time expression, but uses is for an action that happened in unspecified time. Example, look at these pictures. Okay, so the sentence here is the children have tidied their room. So you don't know when they have tidied or cleaned their room. So you can use present perfect tense in your sentence. So the children have tidied their room. You don't know when they tidied, but they cleaned it already. So the children have tidied their room. So that's that's the use of a present perfect tense. You can use it if you want to make a sentence without a specific time. Next is the time expressions. Just remember, it's a present perfect tense if you see this time expressions. Ever, never, just, already, yet, for, since, how long, so far, lately or recently, and always. So when you see this in a sentence, it means that your sentence is in present perfect tense. Okay? So, but don't worry about it. We will not make sentences, but we will identify how to make, okay? To make it into a present perfect tense. So here, the time expressions already and yet. We will focus on this one because this is what we are going to use on the next days. Okay, already and yet. So already and yet, as you can see here, the sentence is I have, I your subject, have for your perfect tense, and plus your time expression. Already got is the past participle, remember? So I have already got dressed, as you can see here in this picture. So this is your present perfect tense. How about in this picture? The sentence is I haven't done my homework yet. So this is your affirmative, and this one is your, can you remember the form? Affirmative, interrogative, and what's the third form? P6, can you still remember? Affirmative, interrogative, and what's the third one? What's the third one?
Negative.
Negative. So what form of a sentence is this one? Interrogative, negative, or affirmative?
Negative.
Negative. Well done. Because have is added with the word not. It becomes haven't. Okay. Very good. Pop gun. Okay, look at this sentence also. Has Sarah called yet? So this is your sentence. Now, can you please tell me, is it in interrogative, affirmative, or negative?
Affirmative.
Say that again.
Number 2, teacher.
Interrogative. Well done. Well done. You can remember. So look at the difference between the three sentences, okay? Look at this one. So this is how you are going to use already, time expressions already and yet, okay? So I have, and then already, and then your past participle. Here, I, subject, and then your negative form of your present perfect tense, haven't, and then your past participle, and yet is at the end. Okay, yet is at the end. And then here, has plus your subject plus your past participle, and then plus your time expression yet. Okay? Here, have gone to and have been to. How are we going to use this in a sentence? So you can say, Mary has, okay, Mary your subject, has, okay, your perfect tense, and then gone to London. Okay, so that is how you can make a sentence using have gone or has gone to or have been to. It means she's still there. Okay. Next. The question here. Have you ever been to London? Okay. So this one is interrogative. It's a question form. Of course, I've been to London a lot of times. It's such an amazing city. So here, this one is your present perfect form. The form is interrogative. So those are the different forms of a present perfect tense. Let's try. Let's have a try, okay? So that we can learn. Wait, let's go to your. Okay, let's have a try together, okay? Let me just find my, okay. Okay, let me share my screen. Let's try this all together. Wait for a while. Okay, look at this one. Is it working? Can you see my screen? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so look at this one. So in a present perfect tense, we will write has and have, okay? So now, number 1, what should be the perfect tense here? Has or have? Your subject is I. What
Have.
should be added here? Have or has?
Have.
Have. Well done. Very good. How about in number 2? She blank. Open the window. Your
Has.
subject is he. Has. Well done. How about number 3? They. The subject is they.
Have.
Have. Well done. Very good. How about in number 4? You blank carried a box. You is the subject.
Have.
Have. Very good. How about number 5? It.
Have.
Has. Well done. Because your subject is singular. Good job. Now, number 6. We. Has or have?
Have.
Have. Well done. Very good. How about number 7? The subject is he. Have? Are you sure?
Has.
Well done. Very good. Has, because the subject is he and he is singular. Okay. How about number 8? Jenny is the subject.
Has.
Has. Well done. Has because Jenny is singular. Only one. How about in number 9? The girls
Have.
blank.
Have.
Because girls here is plural or meaning many. Okay? Many girls, not just one girl. Okay, number 10. Has or have? Have. Very good. Have is the correct answer because there are 2 subjects, John and Sophie. Okay? Wow, you are so good here. Now, let's go to the present perfect form. Put the verb into the correct form in present perfect. Look at your subject in number 1. What's your subject here in number 1?
I.
I. Now look at the sentence. I blank not work today. How are we going to make it into a present perfect form? Look at this one. The word is not, meaning this one should be in a negative form. How are we going to use that into a negative form?
I
I
haven't.
haven't. Very good. I haven't. And how are we going to change the word work in a past participle?
Work.
Work with ed. So I haven't worked today. Do you understand now, P6?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. How about in number 2? Look at number 2. What is your subject in number 2?
We.
We. Is it plural, singular? Is it plural or singular? Singular means only one. Plural means many. So, we. We, plural, singular.
Singular.
Are you sure? Singular? We means many.
พูดลาไม่ใช่เหรอ
Plural. Yes, plural. So, we have here we as your subject. And you said it's plural. So, what should be the perfect tense? Has or have? We
Have.
or have?
Have.
Have. Very good. We have. What's the past participle of the word buy?
Bought.
Bought. Okay, so we have bought a new lamp. Do you understand? P6, do you understand? Can you follow? Why is it no one
Yes.
answering? Okay. How about in number 3? We blank not plan our holiday yet. What should be the correct form of the sentence?
haven't
Haven't. Very good. Well done. We haven't, sorry. we haven't, and the past participle of plan is, what's the past participle of plan? We haven't. What's the past participle of the word plan? We haven't planned with ed. Okay? All right. Number 4. How about number 4? This one is interrogative. Where blank be you? Be means you have to change that into past participle. So, where your subject is you. So, what should be your perfect tense? Has or have?
Has.
You has?
have
You have. Okay. So, where have you? Where have you? What's the past participle of be?
Been.
Been. So, where have you been? As you can see, have first and then your subject and then your past participle. Is it difficult, P6? Is it okay?
No difficult.
Okay. It's okay. At the start, it will be kind of difficult, but it's okay. We will learn later. Just listen, okay? So now, in number 5, he blank write 5 letters. So he, what should be the perfect tense? Has or have?
has
Okay, has. And what is the past participle of write? I showed this in the example.
Writing.
Read. Written. That's the past participle of write. Written. Okay. Now, how about number 6? She, as you can see here, not see him for a long time. She, what's the negative form?
Hasn't.
Hasn't. Very good. She hasn't. What's the past participle of see?
Seen.
Seen. Well done. So she hasn't seen him for a long time. Number 7. This one interrogative. So we start with perfect tense. As you can see, the subject is still you.
Have.
So has or have?
Have.
Have. Well done. Have. And then what's the subject?
You.
You. Have you past participle of be?
been
Been. So have you been at school? So that is how you will make it. Let's go to number 8. Look at number 8. School blank not start yet. So school. What should be your perfect tense here? Has or has?
has
Yes?
has
With not. Hasn't or
hasn't
haven't? Okay.
hasn't
The school hasn't. What's the past participle of start?
start
Started. Okay, started. So the school hasn't started yet. Okay, how about in number 9? He and speak.
Has.
So to his boss. So interrogative. What should be the start of our sentence here?
Has.
Has. Very good. Subject?
He.
He. Past participle of speak?
Spoke.
Spoke. That's the past tense. Past participle. Spoken. Very good. Well done. How about in number 10? No, he blank not have the time yet. So he has or not? Oh, has or hasn't or haven't?
Hasn't.
Hasn't. Very good. He hasn't. What's the past tense, past participle of have?
เหตุหรือเปล่า
Had. He hasn't had the time yet. Do you understand now?
yeah
Yeah.
Let's try making a sentence using your book. Okay. Page 49. Look at page 49 in your book. Okay.
teacher
Yes, this one
I
is
don't
very
have a book.
easy. You don't have a book? I will show you. Wait for a while. I will show you. Okay. So this time you make your own, okay? If you can make this, it means you understood. Okay. Look at look at this one. In your book, page 49. Can you see now, Popyang?
yes
Okay. So, can you please tell me the sentence use clean his desk, number one, in a sentence using present perfect tense, as you can see here, and we have the time expression already and yet. Look at that. Already and yet. Okay? So we added already here. So how are we going to make a sentence in number one? Look at the example. He, your subject, plus has, your perfect tense, and added the time expression already, and then the past participle cleaned, and then his desk. So he has already cleaned his desk. Now for time expression yet, we can make a sentence this way. Interrogative, oh, no, negative. He hasn't cleaned his desk yet. How about in number two? Let's try number two. Who wants to answer number two? Number two. Who can make a sentence using a present perfect tense? Affirmative, affirmative. Anyone? Number two? She. What's the subject here in number two? She. P6, why is it nobody is answering?
she has already
She
washed
has already washed
her hand
her hands. Well done, very good. How are we going to change that into negative form?
she hasn't
He hasn't.
um
She hasn't what?
washed
She hasn't washed
her hand
her hands
yet
yet. Very good. Well done. So do you know now what to do?
Yes.
It's so easy, right? Just follow the pattern.
yes
Okay. So please make a sentence not from number 1 to number 8. Again, make a sentence from number 1 to number 8. You have to make 2 sentences for each number. So all in all, you will submit 16 sentences. Do you understand P6?
Yes.
Okay. We still have time, so I will give you the remaining of the time to make sentences. And you know what to do. Submit, okay? Submit to me your work so I can check it, okay? Okay, your timer starts now. Go ahead. If you need help, let me know, okay? Nobody is answering.
อีกรอบได้ค่ะอธิบายอีกรอบก็ได้ค่ะ
Nobody answered. Pop Gun, I received yours. So let me check first, okay? Well done. Thank you, Pop Gun. Good job. Okay, 5 more minutes. I will let you go, and please continue to do your work. Continue to write sentences, and then send it to me once you finish, okay? So I can check. Goodbye, everyone. See you tomorrow.